It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Lipscomb University assistant volleyball coach, Coach Brittnay Estes. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to coach in college volleyball?
Yeah, so my dad was a softball coach. He was my softball coach all throughout my life. And it kind of, I like to say just like runs in the family. But when I got to college, I really fell in love with my coaches who inspired me and were mentors for me. And I kind of wanted to be that for other individuals and other girls.
What was it like going to Lipscomb and playing college volleyball?
It was a lot of work, but it was a ton of fun, and I'm so happy I did it. I made some of my best friends. My roommate that I live with now was my, friend from volleyball back in college. So yeah, I'm happy I did it. It was a grind. It was tough. It was long days, but 100% worth it.
Of course, what was that like getting to put on that purple Lipscomb jersey?
Oh, it was awesome. We always say like leave your legacy. It can always be your last day to kind of wear the jersey and what are you going to do with it. So I really enjoyed having that name across my chest and being able to kind of make a mark on Lipscomb volleyball history by going to the NCAA tournament for the first time, or not for the first time, but getting the at-large bid for the first time. And then, finally getting that championship ring as well.
What was that like going to the NCAA tournament for the first time and getting that at-large bid and then also winning your ring?
Yeah. So going to the tournament for the first time, we lost our ASUN conference championship, but it was so cool because we had done a great job in the beginning of the season, helping us receive votes in the top 25. And essentially what happened was our RPI was at a good enough point or, ranking that we actually got picked to go play at University of Kentucky against Ohio State University. But we had no clue that we made it in until we watched the broadcast that Sunday. So it's kind of like a March Madness situation where you don't really know until it comes across the TV screen.
What was that feeling like when you finally got your ring and you put it on?
It was so surreal because it was something that we had been working for the past 4 years. We had been to the tournament 3 times in a row and in the championship game and lost in the championship game every single year. So yeah, my senior year was like the cherry on top, and Molly and Jewel, who are the other seniors that were with me, were like, we're not leaving this gym without winning a ring. So it was great.
Of course, looking back on your playing career, what are some of the things that you remember the most?
Oh, just the travel trips and like all of the good memories that happen off the court, all the dinners, all the time spent with like the girls and going and doing, random activities together. Those are the truly the things that we remember.
Of course, what was some of your professional playing career like, and how did that help you to where you are with a coach?
Yeah, so I played on the AVP for about 3 or 4 seasons. And then COVID year would have been my last season, but obviously that COVID changed everything, right? It was great. It was very humbling. I was playing against some of the best competition in the world, and it helped me become a better coach because it helped me understand how I like to be coached. It helped me learn the game a lot more in depth. So yeah, those are some things that it kind of helped me with.
Of course, what was it like returning back to Lipscomb on the coaching side versus obviously being a player?
Yeah, it was completely different. Instead of, just showing up to practice and getting ready to go, there's a lot more that goes into it as a coach. There's a lot more planning, same with travel trips. It's like, how can we make this fun? How can we make this memorable? And that's kind of on me now. So it's good to have that experience being in the program because I know what I liked and what Brandon likes. And yeah, so those are some things that are a little bit different.
Of course, what is that like, obviously, being on the coaching staff with Brandon versus obviously when you were a player?
Yeah, it's Brandon. I have to give him massive kudos. He is an amazing person to work for. He really, as a player, he pushes you, but as a as a coworker, he also pushes you. He wants you to be the best person that you can be on the court, in the office, and in your personal life. So um, he challenges me to be the best version of myself every single day. And I think that's truly a gift, and that's like the best thing that you can ask for as a boss. But he allows me to have my own opinion, and kind of have discussions about my opinion. So that's great.
Of course, what does a typical game day look like as the assistant coach?
Yeah, so it kind of starts throughout the week. We work a lot on scouting, getting ready, prepping the girls for our opponent that we're playing that week. Um, and then throughout the day, like we'll have a typical serve pass, just to kind of get the girls going and moving. And if we're away, it allows them to get accustomed to the arena that we're in. And then we kind of go back to our scout and like mentally prepare for what we need to know on the bench. From there, I kind of take a couple hours to myself to just have a little second, take a little mental break, and then we're back at the gym and we get that good 2 hour warm up.
Of course, do you have any rituals that you do as a coach that you did as a player?
Ooh, that's a good question. I am very superstitious. So there's certain things that I did as a player that I don't necessarily do as a coach, but I definitely have a routine now. And I have to have the same pin. Like there's certain little nuances that I definitely kind of am superstitious about.
Of course, with you being a coach at Lipscomb, what is it like obviously seeing the future Bisons come in?
It's really it's one of those things where I'm so passionate about this program because I went through it and it means a lot to me. And I want to see this program go to the Sweet 16 and see it excel. So I get pretty stoked for the new players coming in, and obviously like I want to make them the best versions of themselves. So yeah, I mean, I get really excited for the future of this program, and I'm so excited for the future of this program next year.
Who are some of the teams that you face in your conference?
We have a lot of teams in our conference. Let me kind of like go through the states here, just to make it a little bit easier on myself. But we have Florida Gulf Coast, Stetson, University of North Florida, Jacksonville University, Jacksonville State University, University of North Alabama, Kennesaw State, Austin P. We also have University of Central Arkansas, Bellarmine, and Eastern Kentucky University. I think that's everyone. I'm sorry if I missed you.
What is it like obviously getting to play with some of those teams like Kennesaw State and Georgia?
Yeah, so Kennesaw State, just kind of going back to my playing days, like they were kind of our rival. So I get pretty jacked up to play them every single time. But again, that's different. Like that changes as the generations of the teams change. So it doesn't necessarily mean as much for the current girls, but I get pretty jacked to play Kennesaw.
Of course, as a coach, what is that like? Obviously, getting to play some of those former teams that obviously you played against.
Like I said, like it's exciting, and obviously like I'm a competitor in and of myself, so I get super, I get jittery and I get the pregame nerves, but I also, want to be the best version of myself and encourage the girls to perform because obviously they're the ones out there like controlling the game. So
What does the recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to play college volleyball?
yeah, it's right now it's a little interesting with COVID. Um, there's a lot of talk about the transfer portal, and it's I feel for these kids that are trying to get scholarships at this point, but definitely just keep working hard, keep emailing. If you see a coach that you have emailed, like do your best that you can when you're performing. Yeah, and don't give up. Like keep working hard and keep, trying to go after what you want.
Of course, as a coach, what is that like? Obviously, going to these volleyball camps, like whereas big national camps to see those players.
Um, so there's these huge tournaments, and we're there to evaluate and kind of determine like who would be a good fit for our program, as well as like those kids are trying to determine where they would fit, like it's just as much an interview for us as it is for them. So
What is that like? Obviously, as a coach, seeing those players, and what are things that you look at in those players?
there's a lot of little things that we look at, and we look for certain things that fit our offense or our defense and our kind of brand of volleyball. And yeah.
Of course, when these prospective student athletes come on campus, what is that like getting to see them put on that Bison jersey that you put on?
It's cool. I mean, again, it's one of those things where like we want them to have the right fit. Like we want them to enjoy being on campus as if like let's say they get hurt, right? Let's say they're playing volleyball and they get hurt. Like we still want them to enjoy their college experience because ultimately like they're not going to be an athlete their whole career. You know what I mean?
What are some of your future plans in your coaching career?
Um, Currently right now, I just really want to help Lipscomb volleyball make it to the Sweet 16. And that's kind of like where I am right now in my 5-year coaching plan. From there, I don't really know what I want. I truly want a program that is invested in the girls and is willing to be there for them. And I want to be a part of that. So.
What has the experience been like, obviously, coaching at your alma mater?
It's been awesome. Again, it's just all about the passion for me. Like, I want to invest everything that I have into the program because it invested so much into me.
What advice would you give those prospective student athletes looking to play college volleyball that are high school volleyball players?
Yeah, just keep working hard, like keep getting reps, keep asking questions, be a sponge, like be a learner of the game. All those things are going to bring confidence to you, and it's definitely going to help you excel into that next step in your career.
What advice would you give those college volleyball players that are playing now that are looking to go on to the professional level?
Same advice, like same thing as the high schoolers. You have to give it everything you've got, and it's got to be your life and your love, if that's something that you want to pursue, because it is a job.
What advice would you give them that they're trying to figure out, obviously, which league they want to go to, whether it's Athletes Unlimited, the AV, or internationally?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. Athletes Unlimited is a great program. It's the first program in the United States for indoor volleyball. So hopefully that continues to grow. That would be so big for our sport. And I kind of talked about this with, you know, I compared it to baseball, right? Like the facilities that certain clubs in the MLB have compared to, the women's volleyball league is completely different. And it'd be so cool to see that kind of take off if it's possible. But yeah, the best advice into determining where you want to go is you have to be open to anything, because you could get offers in Finland or Switzerland or Italy, depending on your skill level and what those clubs need. So yeah, just be open to what fits best for you and the club.
Of course, what advice would you give those future college coaches looking to get started in coaching college volleyball?
Kind of the same thing as just being a player, but be a sponge, like be willing to learn, ask so many questions. There's always new things to study. It's pretty awesome. This community, the volleyball coaching community, is unreal, because the amount of information that these people take the time to study and find, and then their willingness to share is just incredible.
Of course, what advice would you give those people like yourself that are coaching at their alma mater?
Just enjoy every little moment. Like, you never know, you never know when it'll be your last year or your last day. Like, enjoy every little moment of it.
Of course, where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Lipscomb volleyball program at?
Yeah, so Lipscomb Volleyball is at Lipscomb the Ball on Instagram and Twitter. And then my Instagram is Brittnay Estes, and then my Twitter is Estes Brittnay. So pretty easy.
Thank you again, Coach Brittnay Estes, for your interview, and best of luck in your future as the Lipscomb volleyball assistant coach.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Brittnay Estes, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.